Oh, hello and welcome to Hollie's Hot Takes. Now, if you were in here early, you would have seen that I would have gone live and not pushed the play button on the intro. So that would have been a lovely surprise to anyone that was in here early. But yes, welcome to the show. If you are new to the channel, please consider a like on this video. And let's just roll out with some comments, because obviously tonight, as you can see, I am all by myself. But hey, it doesn't matter, because that is the prime time to get your questions in. Now, I would be lying to you if I wasn't going to say to you that I have been very deflated since the North London derby. Not me let lies. But nevertheless, we move. We have another game tomorrow. But again, I still haven't got over that game on Sunday. I don't know whether you lot in the chat have got over it, but we move nevertheless. I mean, there's lots of things to talk about. I mean, I'm not going to lie, you probably could have stuck me in there and I probably would have given a better game than After Squad did on Sunday. But hey ho, we move. But yeah, thanks again to everyone that's joining me. Obviously, Hollie's Hot Takes is the show that happens in the middle of the week because, you know, I can't really do games straight after this week, especially. I mean, there will be a live on Friday talking about tomorrow's game, and there will be a live next Monday talking about the Aston Villa game, because not me let lie to you, when it comes to about maybe 9:30, I'm tucked up in bed ready for work the next day. But welcome to everyone that's just joining. I can see some of you have just joined. I'm going to briefly go over my thoughts on the North London derby. If you're like me and you haven't got over it yet, I'm sure this might be a bit of therapy for you guys. But make sure you get your questions in, because like I said, you know what I'm like during lives. It's very much host mode for me. And I'm finding it really difficult to bring up stuff in the chat. But we are trying to get better at that. But here is, hello everyone. Hello, good evening, Alan. And hello, Shepherd. How are you all doing? But yeah, this is just Hollie's Hotspurs, the place where you can ask me questions and things like that. Good evening, Luke. Hello. Good evening, Nippon. Hello. Can't lose any of the rest of the matches now. Oh, I know. I fully agree, H. That is definitely the vibe at the minute. Not gonna lie to you. I feel like everything is on the line at the moment. That is definitely the case. North London derby added nothing to the context of the season. I won't worry about it. McCarthy, I think it was more of a statement in the sense that we'd have the mentality to go to Arsenal and actually be able to beat them away from home, and we still couldn't do that. So it just kind of shows the mentality, and the lack of confidence is still there. It feels like it's a never-ending vibe. My club is going to be the end of me. Oh yes, you play tonight, don't you? That looks exciting. You're 1-0 up though. You never know. You got Tuchel now doing the business, so we hope. I mean, I enjoyed it, Nippon, when Lampard was there. It was giving me good vibes, because they were seemingly coming to an absolute nutter of a season, in the sense that they just kept dropping points all the time. I was quite enjoying it, to be fair. But now you got Tuchel, who seems to be doing things, which makes me very worried for next season, because I think you're going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially if you can get Werner to start finding the back of their net. But nevertheless, if we just go back a bit to the North London derby, obviously I can't really say there was a lot happening on our front from the first half, because we never really woke up, did we? Never really got out of that tunnel, so to speak. And I think everybody kind of forgot it was a North London derby. Obviously, we saw Sonny took a bow out early due to injury. Hopefully that's nothing serious. But again, with our medical staff, who knows? Who knows what will come of that? It leans to me that he's obviously pulled his hamstring, which is not great. And then since then, we kind of lost all creativity. I feel like Son and Kane, we still heavily rely on, although we've seen the likes of Bale coming up in form recently. That was kind of a miss on Sunday, shall we speak. But obviously, Lamela came on. He seemed to beef up the energy. I mean, I think he had the aggression of 11 players on that pitch when really we only really need him to pump up as one, because we know what Lamela is like, and that kind of telltale signs towards the end of the game. But nevertheless, when he came on, I thought he was probably our best player in the sense of actually wanting to do something, because there was nothing really coming from anybody else. But again, obviously we saw him score that ridiculous goal, which, let's be honest, I wish we'd be talking about it forever, because the audacity to do that in a North London derby is just ridiculous. But then obviously that was ruined in the second half when he then decided to whack someone in the face. Hollie, judging your squad depth, do you think you're a Champions League level team or Europa? Oh dear. I mean, the squad depth is there, and I've been crying out for squad depth for so long, Shepherd. But the quality? I don't think the quality is there. I mean, we got the likes of Bogey Winks behind me. Obviously, we all know the running joke to why he's there. But the likes of Winks, Sissoko, who else have we got in there? Dyer. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to win Europa, so we've got UCL football next year, and I think that's only going to sit well with Mr. Levy and our finances, because let's be honest, with this whole COVID business, although I feel it's a bit of a ploy for Daniel Levy to pull that string, I feel like he will, and if we don't get UCL football at the end of the season, I feel like we're not really going to see the signings we need to see, because let's be honest, our dead wood are not going to sell for much, let's be honest. So the idea of managing to sell someone, I mean, Levy's come out and said, or Tottenham have come out and said, that we're going to have to sell some big names in the summer to be able to recoup some of the money. And I'm not going to lie to you, that big sell is probably going to either be Sonny or Kane. Now, don't get me wrong, I want them both to stay. Kane, I still think he wants to chase that Jimmy Greaves goal record, but I'm also sitting here thinking, if I was a player, I'd want to go win something with my career. And at the moment, I think he's going to do that at Tottenham. It's hard for me to say. I think the only place he would probably go, if it was to stay in the Prem, because obviously I think he wants to go get that goal tally of the Premier League as well, would probably be City, just because I think they've got the money to buy him. Because of the money that Daniel Levy will probably ask for him, I feel like City is probably the only place he would go. Abroad, I feel like his price would probably drop in terms of, but I don't think Kane would leave to go abroad to the likes of Real Madrid. I think he'll want to try and reach that goal tally in the Premier League. We overtake a lot of players. Midfield, 3/4 of defence are not good enough. I agree. We do overrate, but I feel like that's because it's kind of in our blood, so to speak. We've kind of gone through phases of having okay players, and because we don't know any different, that's kind of the way we go with it. And to be honest with you, I just think players have just dropped off form. The likes of Harry Winks, I just don't know where he's gone. Thought about Reguilon after he came back from injury. I think it's something we've definitely missed, H. I think that goal, that threat on that side to be able to whip a ball in, because let's be honest, I think Ben Davies is just not up to scratch. He can't really get across into the box. We can't have that on the right side as well, because don't get me wrong, Doherty is an egg, but Serge Aurier's distribution into the box, i.e. his crosses, are not great. So to see a fullback able to get a ball into the box is great, and the fact that he knows exactly where Harry Kane is, is great. So I think Reguilon being back is a big boost for us, and it can only mean good things. But again, we didn't really see much of him on Sunday. Can't see it being either of them. What, Sonny or Kane? It's a tough one, McCarthy. I think Sonny hasn't signed his new deal yet. It's in the works, and apparently it's because he's signed a new deal with Sony. So I don't know whether there's something in his contract that they're still trying to work on, but it's a bit worrying that we still haven't really heard anything to speak that he signed a new contract with us as of yet, as in it hasn't come out. It's only rumours at the moment. Gentle Ben, the Welsh Mafia, oh my God. That man's an egg, honestly. He can't take on a player, and I sadly feel Reguilon. I think Davies was only really there because we had Reguilon out. I still don't think Davies is good enough. Would you start Kane tomorrow? Personally, I would rest him. Yes, tomorrow's a big game, but we're 2-0 up. We aren't resting him tomorrow, and basically, it's a tough one, Phil. I feel like Jose will play him. We'll probably start him. I hope he does bring him off early, but again, who knows what's going through Jose's head at the moment. Obviously, after that defeat at the weekend, it's a madness to even think that we didn't even decide to go for the ball on Sunday. But yeah, it's a tough one, Phil. I mean, for me, I'd personally rest him. The likes wise, why I think lots of people have kind of said this Højbjerg yellow card incident has been done purely so he has a rest. I don't know whether that's malicious in a sense that was pre-planned. But again, it's good that Højbjerg's getting a rest, because don't get me wrong, I think Højbjerg has been a backbone for this team for so long. But my word, on Sunday, like everyone, I just don't think he pulled his weight. So yeah, back to your question, Phil. I think I want Kane to be rested. I doubt he will. But again, Dynamo haven't got their manager because he's been locked up because he's the Croatian mafia. So who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Davies is a centre-back. I mean, that is a fair shout, McCarthy. He hasn't really got the pace to do anything as left-back. As you can see, he doesn't really have the natural ability to take players on. I mean, I'd definitely have him in a 5 next to the likes of Toby, Sanchez and him. But yeah, I don't think he's really ideally a left-back. Kane is starting. Jose said as much, I think. Lovely jubbly. The joys. I know exactly how it feels. Losing to Arsenal, it's worse than losing to you guys. I think it was more the sense of the fact this is probably the worst Arsenal team I've seen in my lifetime. If you take that into account, it's probably the worst Arsenal team I've seen. But the fact that all of us sat here and saw that Doherty was going to be the weakest link, and Arteta was easily able to do that, and he put Tierney up against Doherty, kind of baffles my mind in the sense that I wouldn't be so gutted if we actually decided to turn up. That's the thing that really got me, because that front 4 that we've seen in recent weeks has been great. But again, I just don't know what happened. Do we need a trophy for you to regard this? Yes, but it depends on the trophy. I would love to win the Carabao Cup, especially to beat City, and I think we've got the manager to do that, because in a one-off game in the final, I want Jose Mourinho. But will I class it as a successful season? Probably not. I think if we win the Europa League, that's a successful season. It doesn't even matter where we come in the Premier League, because like I said, this season's just been so topsy-turvy. I think if we win the Carabao Cup and don't get top 4 Europa League, it's unsuccessful. But again, I'm not going to say no to a trophy. So it all depends on what we win, really. And I shouldn't be really too picky. Do you think we should invest in new players to back the manager and give him targets? Give the manager time back on the youth parrot, Skip, Scarlett, Lavernier and Sessegnon? It's a tough one, because I feel like Jose has never been in here for the long haul, if that makes sense. He was brought in to win us a trophy, and he's finding it difficult. But I do agree, I don't think he's necessarily got his players. Now, I know Dyer was a player that Jose Mourinho wanted, and he signed a new contract, which still baffles my mind. But the fact we haven't seen him in the Premier League makes me a little bit happier that he's seeing that he's a disaster class waiting to happen. I'd like to see Jose be able to bring in players he likes. I mean, we got Højbjerg, and look how well he's been doing under Jose. He's managed to turn around the Ndombele. So it is a tough one. I would, depending on how the season goes and where we sit at the end of the season, is how I'm going to regard on how I want to see this transfer window go. And like I said, we need to sell to bring in players, but the players that I want to sell, I don't think are going to bring in enough money. Oh, hello. Shush, Carl. Carlin is a United fan, and it's got to be said, if we can avoid United and the Arsenal, we're living lavish, because we could go all the way. But again, it's very dependent on teams around us, which is like the league. Balls in Europa, that's all we got, really. I agree. I think it is. I mean, if we won against Arsenal at the weekend, I feel like top 4 could have turned a bit more into reality, but it's possible. But do I think it's going to be a reality now? No, I'd probably be kidding myself if I sat here and, top 4's on, because I think it's slowly really slipping away. I kind of gutted that Arsenal didn't play Hector Bellerin. That's because he's probably on a fashion walk. That's probably why. By the way, did you see the way Arsenal... Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. I swear they just try to be controversial just to get views, and it's just disgusting. They're just stupid. I don't like Arsenal Fan TV. I don't think even their fans like Arsenal Fan TV. Greetings from Sweden, Hollie. Oh, hello. Welcome. What would your front 3 be tomorrow night? Rest any ahead of the Villa? I think Villa's probably the bigger game. Don't get me wrong, we can't write off the 6-foot Croatians, but the fact that they've lost their Croatian mafia manager, I think we might be in good stead. And obviously we are 2-0 up in front. I think, Nicholas, have I said that right? I might have said it wrong. I'm really bad at pronunciation. Saying that though, I think we've already alluded to the fact that Harry Kane will probably start. Probably is a tough one. I think the way we performed, it's so difficult to try and pick. I mean, I'd love Vinicius to start, but I don't think he will. So it'll probably be Kane. I'd like Bergwijn to start. Kane, Bergwijn, and Dele, Lucas. I reckon. Give that a go. This season could be the first time Spurs have failed to finish the top 6 since the 2000 season. Worth it if we win the Europa? It is worth it, McCarthy. It is worth it. It's a trophy and it's a way into the UCL after a topsy-turvy season. I'll take it, mate. Can you see like struggling tomorrow? If I'm honest, at most competitions though, we don't win it. Hope you lot do. I hope we win. I just need something after Sunday, Kylan. Let's not underestimate, shall we? No, that is very true. We've got to try and stay level-headed. I think number five might get into ECL if City or Chelsea win the trophy. That's true, but again, I don't want to put my hopes on the fact of other teams winning stuff in order for us to get a way in, if that makes sense. I want us to be able to win the Europa so it's secure, if that makes sense. Hello, the King. Welcome. Hello, Philip. Would you prefer Jurgen Klopp or Carlo Ancelotti if they become available? I don't like Jurgen Klopp, man, but that's just my preference. I mean, I can't deny what the man's done at Liverpool. I'd be stupid and naive to sit here and say that. Carlo Ancelotti, I've said this so many times. He is like Everton is like the northern equivalent of Tottenham. You've seen them this year manage to do bits over stronger teams and fail again at teams you're thinking all day they'd beat. So Carlo Ancelotti for me has the Spurs nature in him, shall we say. I don't know. It's a tough one. I think it's too hard to say at the moment. I just want to see how this season plans out. We all know that Jose isn't here for the long run. So there's definitely going to be a mini project once again after Jose's gone. I just hope Jose can bring us something because that's what he's been brought in to do. Do you think Arsenal and Spurs will meet in the Europa League? I hope not, the King. I mean, people are saying we want that in the final. Jesus Christ, I cannot cope. I will have heart palpitations for the whole thing if that happens. That can't be happening. Jesus Christ. If there's any doubt about him signing a new deal, would you consider selling him to find transfers in the summer? I love Son, but he won't sign. This could be a time to sell. See, Nick, this is the problem. I don't know whether it's because he signed that deal with Sony. Was it Sony I think he signed that deal with? Which is why apparently the contract's taking longer. Apparently it's done and delivered. There was another rumour he's not coming out to say it because of COVID. He doesn't want himself to feel happy over others. I don't really know, to tell you the truth, Nick. I think for the club, in terms of where Sonny comes from, obviously Korea, we've got an awful lot of money from Korean fans. So I don't know whether Levy will pull that stint unless Sonny really wants to go. Eric Lamela is the best midfielder in Grace our team. Yeah, till he got that red card, John. Welcome, by the way. Don't say anything to Jay. I think he's only just managed to take him off his bin to then put him back in the bin. Fifth won't get Champions League place regardless Premier League winner. That's why Europa is bust for me. Agreed. I think that's just the way we've got to go. Thank you, Philip. Cheers, mate. Mela will play tomorrow because they're unavailable of the league. So it makes sense to rest Bale for the league. Bergwijn is sure to start Son's replacement. I mean, I've always said this. I don't think we've seen the best of Bergwijn purely because Jose's been telling him to track back, which we haven't seen of Bale, which is a real disappointment on Sunday because we knew that the likes of Doherty was going to be weak down that side. Yeah, we saw Bale start with him and we knew Bale doesn't track back. So it was confusing for me. But again, you would have thought that front four would have done the business. We would have attacked Arsenal because we all know Arsenal's weakness is when they play about with the ball at the back. And we've seen that countless times this season. I just don't know why we didn't press them. Do you remember the time so your fan base celebrated Walker's injury? What, pictures of him in a wheelchair? Oh no, that's Wilshire. Wilshire. No, moving on. I mean, I would never celebrate an injury. No, I wouldn't celebrate an injury. Obviously, it does work in your favour, but you wouldn't see me jumping around like Arsenal fan TV. That's just another level of insanity. By the side, Lamela's goal is up there. It is up there, the King. But do you know what really disheartens me? The fact that we got nothing out of the game. That's what purely devastates me. And Lamela is one of the players that I've never seen being able to go from hero to zero in a matter of 70 minutes. Like, it's just a madness. What is your number one pick to sign for Spurs in the summer? Now, people always ask me this, Alan, and my knowledge of anything other than Tottenham is pretty poor, which is a madness considering I play football. I mean, my season has just been null and voided, which I'm devastated about. But for me, it's got to be a centre-back. I don't bloody care who it is, as long as they are, not unstable, or a leader at the back. I mean, there's rumours floating around about Skriniar again. I don't know how that's going to go. But for me, it's just got to be someone that's going to come in and take over the reins from Toby. Because don't get me wrong, I can't see Dyer taking over those reins. Can you imagine it? Oh, my Lord. And the likes of Sanchez, don't get me wrong, he's doing well. Obviously, he had that bit of mistake at the weekend. Whether it's VAR being VAR, we'll never know. But hey-ho, I don't know. I need a centre-back to replace Toby. I'd love two centre-backs so we can leave the likes of Sanchez to get better in the background. But Alan, it's a tough one. Skriniar for me. Now, hello, Greg. Now, a few days have passed. Have you thoughts of tactics against Arsenal changed? Do you think Jose went defensive or players did their own thing? It's a tough one. It's probably the first time I've sat there, Greg, and been like, I ain't got a clue what Jose's doing today. I don't know the game plan. And don't get me wrong, I'm still very much Jose in because, like I said, it's always this thing that fans say, and I'm still going to say true to it because, let's be honest, the man's got us to a final already. We're still in the Europa League. Yes, our form in the Premier League's dipping, but look at the state of teams this season. Form's gone out the window this season. And the thing that's just really frustrated me is I can't decipher where it's all Jose, where it's all players, because we never turn up at the Emirates. And that was evident once again at the weekend. For me, I feel like that side with Doherty and Bale was just completely wrong. If you're going to start Doherty over Serge, you need someone who's going to track back. Bale isn't going to do that. So for me, I think it was fear and a combination of Jose thinking that we can hit them on the break, because I don't think that was the way to play. We should have been at their heels from the off, getting in their faces in their half, putting them under pressure, because we saw the final 10 minutes, we were down to 10 men. We were actually doing things. So that's the thing that really confused me, in a sense that he's just lost the plot. He's lost the man. He's like, go ahead, boys, do your thing. So for me, I think it was partly Jose, but I also just think that they didn't even realise they were in a North London derby. It's stating how both Arsenal and Spurs are still in the shouts for you and judging on how bad the season. Yeah, that is true, the Kings. We have both been pretty poor. I mean, I'm still happy we're above you, but who knows? Still love Lamela. Yeah, he's probably the only one that's got a bit of passion in him. I'm just glad he can control his temper. Wheelchair, I know, Philip, bad. Spurs need to sign someone like Macampo and want to go up a level. We just need something, just need an injection of something. Anderson from Fulham has been touted as a rumour holes. I'll have to look into that. Honestly, my knowledge of other players is pretty poor. I'm going to have to tell my hands up about that. If I'm honest, Gabriel would have suited Spurs, but we got him to a rest history. But send him back and replacement striker is needed. What, for Tottenham or for you? Anderson Fulham. I'll have to look into this geezer. Would you take? I'm going to sit here and say I don't know who that is. Literally, I need to ram up my tactics. Although you have Vinicius. Yeah, but Jose don't trust him, it seems. Jose don't want a bit of that sauce. Let's be honest. Delicious Vinicius. We need to send it back, right back, and defend. What's that mean? A DLP. Jesus Christ, I need a bed. Echoes of Toby Deal. You're on loan at Premier League. Assesses that we sign. And okay. That's a good shout. Give someone a bit of what should we say? A trial, so to speak. That's a good shout. I like that. It's probably the best way to go. This is the best goalkeepers currently in the league. And where's Hugo in your ratings? Oh man, Hugo for me this season has been very inconsistent. But then I look at other goalies and I'm thinking to myself, they've also been very inconsistent. You take likes of Pickford. I think Pickford is a bit like Hugo in a sense that he can pull off world saves and then manages to flap his hands about. It's a tough one. I also feel for Hugo in the sense of that back four's changing every week. That's another thing. I think lots of people are quick to shoot Hugo, shall we say, for it being his fault. Don't get me wrong. I think his positioning at points has been bad. But when you've got that defence in front of you, Jesus Christ, I'd be quaking in my boots being in that goal. For Spurs, I don't think we need a backup striker because it's proven that, Jose isn't going to play him, the King. I would have liked to see a bit more of Vinny, especially in games when we've been cruising, to rest the likes of Kane and Sonny, because Sonny's just completely burnt out, which we've seen at the weekend. So it's a tough one. For me, it's got to be a creative midfielder. Again, we haven't seen enough of Lo Celso, we haven't seen enough of Dele. And this is the thing that really, sorry, I'm going off tangent now. This is the thing that really frustrates me with Dele Alli, because I would have loved him to go on loan to PSG in January. I still stand by it because A, it would have given him something new to try. B, he would have reunited with Poch, and don't get me wrong, I think they were brilliant together. It would give his confidence back. It's a change of scenery. And plus, if we do decide to sell him at the end of the season, he's been in the shop window for so long. Do you know what I mean? The pace is slower over in France. Like, it would have been an ideal move. And then we could have recuperated some of the stuff we've lost. So it's a tough one, the King. McCarthy taking words. I can feel that vibe. Give the young kids a chance, like what Arsenal done with Saka. Yes. At the moment, when you're thinking to yourself, like, we've tried everything. We've tried Dyer. We've tried this. We've tried that. Why not give Tanganga a run out? He did well against Liverpool when he played. It's just a tough one. Sometimes I just don't understand it. DLP, deep line playmaker. Essentially, Winks. Yeah, I was going to say, can you not compare someone to Winks McCarthy? Jesus Christ. I mean, people are saying Ndombele should play further forward, and I think people are trying to make Ndombele turn into Musa Dembele, like Musa Dembele and oh, my brain's gone, Wanyama. We'll never have that concept with Ndombele. I feel like, I don't know, maybe we should play him further forward. Maybe we should play him in behind Kane. I don't know. But at the moment, it's just not working. So I can kind of see where you're going with that, McCarthy. I can kind of see it. Apparently Barca have offered Griezmann and Dybala. So yeah, forget that one. Okay, we'll move on, Shepard. Imagine North London derby. No. If it's the final, Nippon, that's it. I'm gone, mate. I can't control myself. Elena, Dybala is good player, but let's be honest, in terms of our squad, there's nowhere near priority. Agreed. And that's another thing with people saying that we need a new goalkeeper. I want someone in centre-back or as a creative midfielder before we even think about a goalie. Because let's be honest, a goalkeeper's career lasts longer than any outfield player. So the fact that we want to get rid of Lloris, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's perfect because I think his form has dipped slightly. I think it's dipped ever since he did that injury at Brighton. But again, I think there's more important things to look at, like Elena said, over the fact of the likes of getting the likes of Dybala. And plus, Dybala just screams deja vu for me, and that didn't end very well. So, yeah, and what else was I going to say? The thought that we're going to bring in someone as well that's better than Lloris at the moment with the money we have, I can't see it happening. I'm just asking, but Spurs have the money to buy big name players, but instead they don't have the pulling power. I can kind of see what you're saying to Kings. I think with COVID, obviously, I think Levy's kind of using that as a way not to spend money because, as we know, the man's pocket strings, he doesn't like to let loose with his money. But I also think maybe until we've managed to sell off the naming rights to the stadium, I don't think we'll be able to necessarily get players in. The fact that you say we don't have the pool, I think, yes, being out of Europe will definitely will struggle to pull players in. But look at our stadium, man. It's nice. I wouldn't mind playing there. Do you know what I mean? So I can kind of see what you're saying to an extent, the King, if I'm going to be level-headed about it. Skipper's currently having another quality game so far. Oh, man. Honestly, I don't know where it's going to go with this. A few weeks ago when we had Carl and Dan on from the Coys.com podcast, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out the latest podcast that I was on the other night, you can hear me ranting about that game. Please go check it out. But Dan actually said, before it even came out, that Skip might even look to stay on loan at Norwich next season in the Premier League. Now, to be honest with you, I don't think he's going to get ahead of Højbjerg in CDM. So if he was to stay at Norwich, again, I think it would be great for his development in the Premier League, so to speak, get first-time football. But I'm happy for the future. But yeah, that Skip has been bossing it recently. Would you sell Lucas to raise funds? Would anybody buy Lucas? That's the problem, Chad. This is the problem we have at the moment. We want to sell our deadwood. Don't get me wrong. I think Lucas has come on leaps and bounds purely because I think his space has been up for grabs, which is amazing, really, when you add in competition for space. But I don't know. I don't know if we'd raise enough. I really don't. They don't have a long-term plan. They need a young manager, an up-and-coming manager who has a plan. Not saying Mourinho doesn't. It does, the King, but we sat through a rebuild. We sat through basically a rebuild with Pochettino, and what did we win out of anything? So I think trying this new way of bringing in someone that's done it, been there, got the T-shirt, I think was the way forward. I think probably the next step would maybe be doing what Man United did and bringing in a club legend. Maybe Ledley King is in the wings as a coaching person in the defence to actually one day become the manager to take over from Mourinho. But who knows? We've tried the project that hasn't quite worked out for us. We've tried getting Josie in. I mean, it's not over yet. We'll have to see how it goes. But again, it's just trying things, trial and error at Tottenham. Would you take... please tell me who that is. If on it is me, come on. Who win the league? First, Arsenal. Jesus Christ, you're asking me questions. I'm obviously going to say Tottenham. The trouble is, I think our season, the way we're going at the moment is both. I think you were up here, we caught up, we've overtaken you, and now we're kind of going like this. Look at that. Shapes of days. I can't really predict that to King. I really don't know what the future holds, in all honesty. I think his best move allows him to get Prem experience without the pressure. I agree, Colin. I think it probably would be the best move. Obviously, he's Norwich's god at the moment. So we're doing worlds of confidence to actually stay at Norwich. And like I said, I don't think he's going to get ahead of Højbjerg. But then I'm thinking to myself, we have struggled this season without being able to rotate Højbjerg. with someone that's decent or at the same level as him. Because let's be honest, Sissoko does not do a good job there. Let's be honest. He does not do a good job there. What's this? That's some conversations. But yeah, like I think it's a very rough period for Tottenham at the moment. But like all teams, we haven't really found our form. Ours has just been all over the place. I honestly think the thing that changed our season was that West Ham 3-3, because let's be honest, we were cruising at the moment. We were cruising before that game, and then all of a sudden it just went to pot. And let's be honest, we did score loads of goals before then, so it wasn't an attacking issue, it was a defensive issue. We just kind of crumbled when teams then started to put on the gas, work out that it's the Kane and Sonny show, and from there they just played to their strengths and decided to nullify ours. So it's a tough one. Yeah, De Kings is an Arsenal fan, by the way, but I appreciate his comments, and I appreciate everyone that's in here at the moment. I think we're 9 subscribers off of 900, so if you are new, you have stopped by today, please hit that sub button. I mean, I will be live on Friday again to discuss the Dynamo game, where I hope we win, but we'll have to see. Just go for Ward-Prowse. I mean, we do not have a good free kick taker. I mean, Kane got close to it at the weekend, but it's taken him a while to get there. I mean, I hate Saints, but Ward-Prowse is something else. Mac Dottie's go, yeah, he's a big egg, Sam. He's a big egg. I 100% agree. I mean, I don't know how Wolves have managed to pull the eyes over the likes of Levy and the club. Mind you, I don't think Levy knows much about football, but obviously he wasn't slotting in at that right back position with Wolves. They got Semedo, bummed off Doherty to us, and now we're stuck with him, and it's really depressing because Serge Aurier was not I was not his biggest fan last season, and I wasn't loving life. And the fact that we brought in someone that was worse than Serge really doesn't sit well with my boat. PH and Skip could easily play. But Kev, this is the thing. I think the dynamic would be all over the place because they're too defensive in a sense. I just don't think it would work. Personally, I don't think it's the right dynamic. I think we need a defensive person and someone's going to push on, like Ndombele. But again, I don't think that's Ndombele's natural position, so to speak. I mean, people are saying they want him further forward, so I don't know. I kind of want the dynamic that we had with Wanyama, who would just sit, and Ndombele would just breeze past. Dembele would just breeze past people. I think that's the dynamic we need to try again. But who knows? It could work. I just don't think it will. Yes, please hit that sub button. The 1K would be nice soon as well, but I'd like to hit 900 first, obviously. Jose Marie's the reason Bale, Reguilon, Kane's both Kane, Son staying. It's just the way it is. Players choose managers. I do agree to an extent. And like I said, if we can see Jose bring in a centre-back like he's managed to recoup the likes of Højbjerg, I'm all for him staying. But again, I really need to judge it at the end of the season. I think it's too soon for people to write Tottenham off straight away. Just me who thinks Ward-Prowse is overrated, other than that set pieces is awful. Kylan, you know what I feel about Saints. I don't really watch Saints because they infuriate me. But when you haven't got a great free kick taker in your team, you just have to sit there in awe. I haven't personally watched Ward-Prowse, in all fairness, Kylan. How much do you think Harry Kane is worth realistically? Depends. I think he'd be worth less if he went abroad. Unless it's Real Madrid, I think they will pay the boat out. But in the Premier League, because of the fact he's English, the fact that he is probably going to reach every goal record there is in the Premier League, I feel City will be the only team to pay for him. And if they do, you're going to think I'm stupid. I think he's worth at least 130 million to 200. Anywhere between that price range. At the end of the day, it's like all things. Things only cost as much as you're willing to pay for them. So we'll have to see. And we all know City have loads of money. We'll have to see from there. Obviously, with Aguero probably leaving at the end of the season, it's testing times. Is Pompey your second favourite team? Because I hate Southampton, I'll tell you a funny fact. My best friend, Sam, her granddad is a statue outside St Mary's, so I should probably like Saints a bit more than I do, but I can't stand Southampton. And yes, there is a picture floating around of me in a Saints kit when I was little, because unfortunately for me, I live in Southampton and that was the only team close to me that I'd play for. So Pompey's up there. Fratton is an amazing stadium. The atmosphere is just insane. No matter what league they're in, that stadium's packed. So yeah, and plus I do play for Moneyfields that are in Portsmouth. So Pompey is probably Probably not my second favourite team, but they're probably a team I like. I've always said if I wasn't a Spurs fan, I'd probably be a Bournemouth fan. I've got friends that play for Bournemouth actually. What happens when Lo Celso regains full fitness? Will double pivot be Højbjerg as Ndombele and Lo Celso and Ndombele? Well, it's a tough question, isn't it? Does Lo Celso sit where Dele plays or where Lucas has been playing behind Kane? Would Lo Celso drop and Ndombele would be pushed forward? It's really difficult. I just don't think we ever really replaced Eriksen. I know Lo Celso was the shout to be him. But they're two different players. They're just too different. You know, Eriksen would have that killer pass to pass the ball forward. Lamela likes to dribble with the ball, slot the ball in behind. They're just too different. And I don't think we've ever replaced Eriksen. Don't get me wrong. I wanted Eriksen to leave when he did, just purely because it looked to me he wasn't interested anymore. He sulked because he didn't get his big move. But it's a tough one. I think there'll definitely be a rotation and competition for space again. It'd be interesting to see how he performs tomorrow because rumour is that Lo Celso will be playing. But again, it's all done on form, isn't it? I'd like to see Lo Celso have a good run out because, again, I can't really rate Lo Celso because I haven't seen enough of him. I think that's the real trouble at the moment with these central midfielders. We just haven't really, apart from the Ndombele and the Højbjerg being played to the bone, we haven't really seen enough of our, say, creative players in the sense of Dele again. He's just, I don't know what's really happened to Dele again. It's just we have this conversation all the time. I just think it's motivation. No chance going goes to City with less than 200 mil. The sooner sign Haaland anyway. You reckon McCarthy? I just thought that's probably the place he will go in order to retain his, well, get after that Premier League goal tally, really, isn't it? Because I don't think he'd go abroad. He's got a nice family here. I can't really see him picking up sticks going abroad. Again, it's whether his ambition for getting a trophy or something. But at City, he could probably do that. But again, I don't know. It's tough. And like I say, I hope he's a one-man club and he does stay at Tottenham. But if I was Harry Kane and you look back at your career and you've been, oh, look, I managed to achieve this, that and that, great. But what did you win? That's just another thing. I don't think the Audi Cup's really gonna sit well with him, let's be honest. I don't think it sit well with anyone. My second team was, oh, Jesus. Moving on. Is that Solanke a friend? No. Some of the, if I don't know whether you've seen Bournemouth on the telly, their stadium recently, but I used to play for Poole about 2 seasons ago, and 2 of the girls that I played with at Poole are now signed for Bournemouth. And obviously at Bournemouth Stadium, they've got the girls on the wall as well, like in the stands, which is really cool. So I used to play with them. Would I take Varane? Oh, who wouldn't? Like, it's Varane. I mean, you know my football knowledge outside Tottenham is awful, but I know for FIFA, Varane is good. So, yes. But yeah, it's just I just hope tomorrow we can go there, get the job done. Like I said, I like to rest Kane, like we've pointed out tonight. Don't think that's going to happen. Do you think Bale Sally is the first reason why some won't put pen to paper? Percy Shepherd, no. I don't think so. You look at Harry Kane and you look at the wages he's on compared to the likes of Bale, and I just no. I don't think that's an issue. I personally think if Bale does stay, for me to justify him staying, it would have to be for him to cut his wages personally, because we know he's injury prone. We know apparently now that he picks his minutes. So the fact that he picked his minutes to start in the North London derby but didn't turn up kind of worries me a little bit. So yeah, I don't think so. I honestly think it's got something to do with the contract he signed with Sony. I think it's Sony. I could be wrong, but he signed a new deal with some company, obviously with his agent, and that might have something to do with it. You never know. I mean, if we're trying to sell the stadium to Amazon, maybe that might have some conflicting interests. I don't know. But I can understand if players were getting pissed off on salary, that Bale's on X amount and I'm on this amount. I'm scoring this, he's only doing that. I can see your argument. Nobody asks you what he's won, though. They don't. But if you put the argument to people, I mean, I've had this argument with lots of people, McCarthy. I don't know what your stance is on it. But people can't put Kane up there because he hasn't won anything. And it does sadden me that. But again, like you said, nobody asked you, do they? Hello, welcome, One Rovers. How are you doing? Welcome. Thank you for joining. Can we sign Sergio Ramos? What, the chief kebabber? The chief leg breaker? I'll tell you what, the only good thing Dyer's done was obviously that tackle in the Euros for England. Was it the Euros or the World Cup? That's the only thing that goes down in history. I mean, it'd be great if we could get him on a free. I don't think that's going to happen. Yes, please hit that subscribe button. I would love to get to 1K. It's been a proper grind, it must be said, and everybody knows how everybody feels after a Tottenham defeat. It's the first season actually. I've actually done lives as well. So if you are enjoying them, please hit the subscribe button. Obviously, these kind of hot takes videos are just so you can get to know me in a sense, because you know what I'm like when I'm doing videos with guests. I'm very much in host mode, and I do read every comment. I don't know, I just can't do two things at once, if that makes sense. But I do appreciate every single one of you joining me tonight. The questions have been pretty good. Shearer won the Premier League. He did when he moved, didn't he? That's the thing. I need to plug my thing in. He did when he moved. And that's another thing. I mean, that's another thing, Elena. I'm glad you brought that up. That's another thing. Does he leave Tottenham to go win something at, say, City, and then come back to Tottenham? That's another thing you've got to put into consideration. And I'll tell you what, that wouldn't be a very bad idea, to say the least. Because let's be honest, I don't think Tottenham are going to win the Premier League anytime soon. Could I see City winning the Premier League again? Yes. I mean, they might even do it again this year. So that is a very true fact, Elena. I'm glad you brought that up. Nations League was given as a foul, as a joke. Scenes, Colin, wasn't it? Should Spurs other teams been players from international duty in light of COVID? I thought they should have, to be honest with you. This Premier League season has been an absolute joke, and I'm not being thingy with you. But if the league has to be postponed again because of COVID, or players can't play because of COVID, like because they've gone on to international duty, I think it's ridiculous. It's a nothing cup anyway. It's a nothing game anyway, these friendlies. I don't see the point of it. I would just got rid of them and just wait to the Euros, because let's be honest, it's not as if the players aren't going to be fit. They're still playing week in, week out. I think it's a silly idea, Shepherd, that we've got these friendlies coming up. It's a joke. Shearer on the Prem, then moved clubs. Yeah, that's what I thought he wasn't winning anything, so he moved back. I thought that's what he did. As you can tell, I know nothing. Have you ever ended a defender's career? Who, me? Well, I wasn't a defender. When I used to play for Winchester, we had my old team, Southampton, in the Hampshire Cup many, many moons ago. And I managed to score 2 goals which were identical to each other to win the game 2-1. No word of a lie. I just pulled out wide, just hanged out wide. Tried to play on the line. And then I cut in and got the ball played to me inside. I just ran and just got in. I did that twice. And there's a picture, I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, of the girl just like this. And I'm jumping up in the air. So you could kind of count that as ruining someone's career. But it was 5 times. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say I've ever ended a defender's career. I've probably made someone very, very unhappy, shall we say. They were good times. That was so long ago. Jesus Christ, I can't remember when that was. But yeah, it's like I said, going back to Tottenham, it's been very frustrating this year. Had defenders for you? What is it? Do defenders fear you? I don't like to blow my own trumpet, Nippon. Not so much this year, because I've tried to work myself into a strong side. I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know. I'd probably do a better job than say Doherty. As in, I'd probably play better. I mean, I have slotted into right back at the mo. Obviously, now that the season's ended, that's not going to happen. So you won't have to see my disaster class at right back. But yeah, oh God, Colin, what have you said? Hollie did end defenders' careers on FIFA 23. Yeah, and I also even cleared the ball off the line for the goal that we were going to score, Colin. I remember those days, my Twitch days. They were funny. I'll have to get back onto Pro Clubs, I think. If you haven't, there is a video actually that does exist on YouTube, on this very YouTube channel, of some of my poor games with the likes of Kylan, in the sense that I am shit at Pro Clubs. But yeah, aren't you a forward? I'm many different positions, Nippon. I've played, where have I played? I've played predominantly right mid in my career. Right mid, I played striker for Paul. That was an utter madness. I've played right mid for monies, but I've recently started in as right back. I mean, I did score my first goal at right back. But I mean, I've only played 2 league games this season, and I managed to score in the second game, which was scenes. Can we sign Sergio Ramos? I'd like to think so, Sam. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. Who's 9-2 win? Hollie and Kane link up. It was the Kane and Agamboom link up. Wouldn't playing Bale up top, Kane directly behind, solve the issues of Bale's defensive frailties, but clearly no more Dele. It's a good point. We know Bale doesn't track back. We know Bale's got a lethal shot on him. We've seen it many times already since he's been back. But again, do I think that Jose will do that? No. Do I think Kane will want to start behind Bale? No. I think it's very hard to try and balance, really. If we play Bale, do we need to play Sissoko to help Doherty? I think that's the sad truth, Alan. See lots of people say that. I feel it's a sad truth because Sissoko used to do that for Serge, and it kind of worked, but then it's just like it stops you from being able to push forward because I'd still want Højbjerg to be there. And let's be honest, we all know the likes of Sissoko with his feet and his dribbling capabilities isn't the best. So would we look dangerous going forward with Sissoko in there? I don't know, but again, it will definitely be able to help Doherty out. Hello, Owen. You're lucky you're not watching what I'm watching. We're losing 2-0 and we're playing rubbish. Wait, Owen, what are you watching? I know Chelsea are playing tonight. Everton? No, Everton aren't playing. This is what I mean. If I don't, it's literally just Tottenham. Who are you watching, Owen? Welcome to the stream. And anybody else that is new, please remember to hit that subscribe button. Mean the world. 1K is hopefully on. Yes! Lisa, hello. You've joined me on Hollie's Hot Takes, so I can actually bring your message up because I've worked out how to do it. And I can talk to you. Because you know what I'm normally like in host mode? I'm very like tunnel vision. But this is literally just me chatting rubbish. I'm watching Forest versus Norwich. Wait. Please say Norwich are winning. Because Kylan said that Skip was having a masterclass. What do you think of Højbjerg's back passes? Why can't pass them ball forward? I hope he doesn't turn into that man behind me. To be honest with you, Shepherd, I think I was losing my brain at the weekend. I haven't really seen much of Højbjerg playing the ball forward. I think I'm just ignoring them, let's be honest, because I'm so numb to the sense of Winksy doing it. My fucking message on it. I know, Lisa, man, it's quality, innit? Yeah, 2-0 Norwich. Oh no, Owen. Are you Forest? Are you a Forest fan? Oh dear. In the mud. But yeah, in terms of Højbjerg, the man said my name. So maybe I've jinxed him and he's going to start being crap now. But who knows? It's a madness. But thanks, Lisa, for tuning in. I'm glad you've tuned in. But yeah, I just hope tomorrow is a must win. We need to get through to this Europa League. We just need to get this steamrolled out of the way. I think Villa is probably more important than tomorrow's game in the sense that we're already 2-0 up in front. I might be playing clubs with them. Oh my God, let me know. I wouldn't say pro, mate. I wouldn't say pro. How was teaching? It was quality, man. I loved it. Until, I mean, we didn't have maths. I didn't have to teach 4 maths interventions, which was fabulous. And we had PE. So I didn't have to do counting on in twos with trying to get blood out of a stone out of children. It was great. I loved it, Lisa. Definitely better than yesterday. But yeah, so I want to thank everyone that's joined me tonight. I mean, if you've still got some more questions for me, please let me know. Can we sign a new centre-back? Sam, that is the ultimate goal in this transfer window in the summer. This is the ultimate goal. If that does not happen, I am going to lose all faith with everything. Teaching them. I mean, last week at lunchtime, because I have to do lunch duties because of COVID, because there's not enough dinner ladies and not enough people, staff for the kids at lunch, I was actually teaching them Spurs songs, and I feel like I've definitely ruined everything. I hope they don't sing them. I mean, I've got into trouble because I was teaching one kid Spurs songs and their dad's an Arsenal fan. That didn't go down very well. Exactly my point. Take away Højbjerg's tackling. His gameplay is worse than Winks. But at least he's not afraid. No, I do get what you're saying, Shepherd. It's true to a sense, but again, if you've got the likes of Ndombele, hopefully if he finds his way in that middle next to Højbjerg, I don't care. Because let's be honest, what did Wanyama do apart from that blitzering goal against Liverpool? Not a lot. He just sat there, broke the play up, stopped them getting through, and that's kind of what we need. So if it means he fluffs up his passes now and again, I'm so for it. I'm enjoying these new style videos from Hollie. Hope you're planning to keep them up. I am, Elena, thank you. Like I said, after games, or near enough after games, I know this week, obviously, Europa League game tomorrow doesn't finish till late, and I'll be dead for Friday at work. So we'll have a live on Friday at 7 p.m. with 2 guests. And the same on Sunday. It's another late one. So I'll be live again on Monday at 7 p.m. with 2 live guests going over the Villa game. But I am very much enjoying this one because this is where I can talk to you, get to know me a bit, and then we can talk football, really. I know, it's bad. Hello, welcome. What age do you teach? I teach year 1. During lockdown, I was pushed into year R, which I say never again. But yeah, I currently teach year 1, so it's all phonics and maths and counting in 5s and all that lovely stuff. Ndombele has been poor. He has been in recent weeks, but again, I think he's overworked. The same with Højbjerg. Højbjerg's having to be carrying that defence for so long now. I can imagine how much his back hurts from carrying that backpack. 2 guests, yes, we'll be live with David from obviously the Irish Hotspur, and I've also got Luke from Rivalry Aside with us on Friday to go over that Europa League game tomorrow. And on Monday, who have I got Monday? I'm trying to think. Oh, I'll let you know who I've got Monday when I double check. I was watching Alistair Gold and he said he could lose a major player in the summer. Who do you think that could be? I mean, major player. Could that major player be Delhi? Who knows? The only way I can see him reaping up the funds is the fact that he's English and has potential and he's young. I don't want it to be Kane. I don't think it'll be Sonny purely because the money he rakes in from the Korean fans. As bad as that sounds, we all know that in Korea he's loved, he's adored, and that's mainly where Tottenham probably get their shirt sales for Sonny. So I don't think it'll be Son. So I think it will be Delhi. And like I've said at the start of the video, it would have been perfect for him to go to PSG. Whether he'd be able to find his confidence, he'd probably be able to find some form. He'd be reunited with Poch, and let's be right. Let's not be funny. They're both friends. They get on well. And it would have been a great way to put him in the shop window. But instead, he's hardly getting games with Tottenham and his price isn't going to go up. Where's the next Hollie Hot Takes? So I try and do it in the middle of the week. So probably next Wednesday will be the time again. No, mate, trust me. I find myself twiddling my thumbs. They have this thing called call time. It's pretty much playtime. But I found myself going insane because I found the day would just drag. Whereas in year 1, you've got reading, you've got phonics, you've got what else? You've got maths, you've got English, you've got actual subjects. I actually enjoyed it. Well, teaching kids, no thanks. Yeah, it's not great. What inspired you to become a Spurs YouTuber? So I used to stream on Twitch, playing FIFA, and don't get me wrong, my FIFA skills were getting there. And then I realised most of my live streams were like this. People would just come in and ask me things about Tottenham and I'd give my response. And I was thinking to myself, I don't really want to waste my time playing FIFA because I'm crap at it. Let's not be honest. Like, don't get me wrong, goal free and foot champs was the highest. But I just thought, why not just do it on YouTube, you know? And I've met some great friends from doing it. We didn't Højbjerg solve the centre-back crisis without spending an arm or a leg, putting a Ndombele in the cell and, oh, Jesus. I mean, yes, but I can't see him playing there, Shepard. Mate, you should become a coach, dude. Coach him to be centre-back because Jose tried with Dyer and look how that turned out. Ali will go. I'm more interested in seeing who comes in. Agreed. But Wayne, I'm still worried if we're not going to be able to rate the funds in. We're going to be able to rate the funds in. She was gutted at FIFA. Oh, Lisa, you're bigging me up, man. I don't think I was gutted. So year R is like the first year in school. So you're 4, 5. And then in year 1, you're 5, 6. No, 5, 6, 7. I actually don't know how old these kids are. Reception, screaming kids, pretty much. No, not Dyer. Tanganga. Or words of wisdom, Sean. Words of wisdom. Yeah, no Dyer. Diabolical. I would skip that. I do try and avoid the screaming kids. They're not too bad, though. Their little characters are funny. I do like where I work. But like I say, like, it's literally work, talking Tottenham. Work, talking Tottenham. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I do love it. But yeah, I do echo your enthusiasm for Tanganga, Sean. Like I said earlier, we got the likes of Dyer, hasn't worked out. We've seen Tanganga play really well against Liverpool, and since then, nothing come of him. Like, it's just mind-boggling. Also, the fact that Rodon isn't in that Europa League squad as well, that would have been the perfect time to test him out. But again, non-existent in Europa League because Jose's decided not to put him in. Oh no, I know he's young, but let's be honest. We've had to sit through Dyer making mistakes. I mean, at least with the likes of Tanganga, we can give him a run out and he can get better. Let's be honest, the only way to improve is to play, is to get game time. We've kind of seen that with Sanchez, besides the penalty at the weekend, but we know it's a bit of a, an unlucky one, shall we say. It's all right, Sean. I bypassed the dodginess. I'm at 350 subs now, mate. Road to 1,000. Oh, yes. If you haven't already, go subscribe to Lisa. Lisa is she is a pro FIFA player. And she is very good at FIFA and her FIFA content. And I know that she's going to have some very good guests, hopefully, joining her for some of her videos. So make sure you check Lisa out. Thoughts on Jose? Presser for Dino. I haven't seen it. How bad is that? I literally rushed home from work and I thought, fuck it, Jose's probably said some stuff that's going to rile some people, and I just left it. I haven't seen it. Dyer should just be on the pitches. I'm glad. I hope everybody gets that, because honestly, Mike Bassett is my favourite film. It's my favourite thing. It's my favourite film. I just love it when he's in the change room and he's like, let's go, fuck it, and then smashes the thing. I love it. I'm like, oh, what are you doing, Nippon? I'm getting none of the subs today. I would love it, Lisa. That would be mad. That would be mad. We need to get Hollie to 1K. I would like that, Nicholas. And thank you for joining me from Sweden, man. That is pretty insane. Yeah, I do kind of love these shows. I mean, if you have watched the live when I'm on guest, you can tell that I'm proper in host mode. I do my best to try and pull people's comments up. But I've done lots of podcasts where I've been the person answering the questions. So me trying to put a show together and me asking other people questions has been very difficult. And sometimes I do bite my tongue on some things. So to be able to sit here and for you to ask me questions, to give you the lowdown on how I think about things is really nice. So I do really appreciate every single one of you joining me today. I think I'm probably going to end the stream there. I mean, we've been going live now for nearly an hour or so, and it has been great to again talk about Tottenham. Again, if you want to keep up to date with any of my content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And probably the best place to find me is actually on Twitter. To be honest, it's probably Twitter. End. The end. I know. But again, Hollie's Hot Takes will be back live again next Wednesday, where I'll probably have more things to discuss. I'll probably have other stuff to moan about, shall we say. Yes, that would be sick. Predictions for tomorrow. Me and predictions, mate. You know what I said at the weekend? I said 4-2 Tottenham at the weekend, Shepherd. Do you really want my prediction? I'm going to give it to you anyway. I think it'll be 2-1. I hope it's 2-1 because I can't be dealing with stress. I hope it's 2-1. Kane to get a goal. And I'd like to see Bergwijn to get a goal, you know. That would be sick for Bergwijn to get a goal. But we'll have to wait and see. I think Levy will give Mourinho money in the summer. Obviously, he's good at wheeling and dealing. Experts a few players, in my opinion. Wheeler dealer. Good old Del Boy. Levy the Del Boy. I hope so too, Alan. Whether that will actually happen, who knows? Obviously, we all know what Levy's like. Don't jinx it. I've done it. Yes, Nippon is the same as me. I do jinx a lot of things. But again, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's joined. I mean, if you are new, hit the sub button. If you want to get the word out, I'd very much appreciate it. And I will see you here 7 p.m. at the same time to go over that Europa League game tomorrow with the likes of the Irish Hotspur and Luke from Rivalry aside. So make sure you put it in your diaries, put it in your phone. I will get a link out maybe tonight or tomorrow and hit that reminder. And I will see you all very soon. And remember, no matter how dark days we have as Tottenham fans, always remember, come on you Spurs.